Last name is C-R-O-S-S.
Okay. And Phil, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Go ahead.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Just real quick, guys. We are here in Southeast Topeka. Officers responded. I don't have time, so haven't had a chance to look that up. Officers responded to a shots fired call. They were dispatched here on a citizen report of that. Upon arrival, they did have a altercation, and as a result, one person has been transported to the hospital. It's unknown at this time from the scene how those injuries were sustained. What I can tell you is that we do have one patient at the hospital. Right now, currently, the Topeka Police Department, the Kansas Highway Patrol, and the Shawnee County Sheriff's Office are working together to secure this crime scene and to figure out this investigation. We have a very big crime scene because things actually started off in the park behind us here, and then officers arrived and found the persons involved for closer to where we're standing now. So we're dealing with a little bit of chaos, getting things under control. I think some of you were here already and we're still doing medical treatment. So we found that patient, quickly administered medical aid, have him en route to the hospital, and we'll have some more details later this afternoon.
Now, I was told, you correct me if I'm wrong, was the officer involved in the shooting too?
I can't comment on that now because I don't know for certain. I can tell you that in the chaos of getting here, my first priority was that patient and getting that patient treated and transported, getting medical personnel in here safely and out with that patient. So what I can tell you is those details will be available later today.
One male taken to the hospital?
That's correct.
I was told an injury to the chest. Is that true?
Yes, that is correct.
Was you able to find the other person that this person was involved with?
There you go.
Sorry about that.
At this time, no. We don't have that other person with us.
Was the victim here in the intersection? Is that where they located, where the items are located right
Yes,
here?
that's correct. That's correct.
Okay.
And I apologize, Phil. I thought you were here already, and we're still doing CPR and stuff. So
I think I got here right when they were taking him away.
okay. That's what we have for now. I'm going to refer you guys to Amy McCarter and Lieutenant Stewart back at the police station for any more media stuff. From here, we're just going to get our crime scene stuff done that we do, and that's where we're at. So.
But you can tell me now, or you can't tell me if an officer had fired the shot, because I've heard that from a different officer, and he said...
I can't. What I can tell you is I heard radio traffic of an officer saying shots had been fired, but that can mean many things. That can mean shots were fired at the officer, that can mean as they were arriving, two parties were exchanging gunfire, or it could mean that the officer had to fire shots. I honestly haven't had the opportunity to dissect that and figure out. The initial officers who were involved were doing the first aid here first, had quite a bit of blood on them from administering that first aid, so I wanted to get them out of the scene and get them taken care of. So I've got them back at police headquarters. Later on, the rest of the team who's not out here from the command staff will help me sort that out, and we'll get you those details.
You brought quite a few officers in here. Tell me the reason for that.
Oh, we just had the crowd was a little bit agitated, a little bit upset, as is expected. You know, I mean, something chaotic has just happened in their neighborhood. So we brought in some officers to help, and as you can see, we do have a joint agency response going on out here. It's not just the Topeka Police Department here. We've got the Sheriff's Department and the Kansas Highway Patrol assisting us.
Officer, I just showed up.
Yeah, what I explained earlier is basically what happened is I don't have time. I apologize for that. I have not had time to stop and even take a look at anything. Just want to get you guys a quick briefing. But officers were dispatched out here on a shots fired call. Basically, a citizen phoned in that there had been shots fired in the park and indicated that a couple of suspects in that shooting were still in the park. Officers arrived, and from there, all I know is that the officers' radio traffic indicated shots had been fired after they were on scene. I can't right now tell you if those shots came from the parties involved, if they came from the officers, or if they came from the potential victim here. So we do have one male who was transported to the hospital with a gunshot wound. And that's really where we stand now, is just securing the crime scene. It does take a little bit of time to kind of dissect the chaos that ensues and figure out exactly what's happened.
Do you know the victim's condition?
I don't.
The officer okay?
As far as I know, I did send two officers from the scene who were pretty bloody. They had administered some first aid. They were the first two officers on scene and were helping treat the patient first, so just to get them cleaned up, so they're not stuck out here guarding a crime scene while they're covered in blood. They're going back, getting cleaned up, and then we're dissecting those interviews. Our investigators now are working on trying to figure out what happened exactly.
Will be able to give us more information here soon?
We will later. This is probably the last media briefing that we'll do here at the scene. We'll move the rest to the law enforcement center just because this is going to become more of like just a crime scene operation.
Are you calling any other agencies to assist? I saw KHB, Sheriff, any other agencies coming in to assist with the investigation?
Yeah, we, as far as to assist the investigation, I don't know that answer yet, but what I can tell you, Sean, is that we do have other agencies assisting us here with the crime scene, just so that all of the burden isn't on the officers from the city of Topeka, that we can still answer the other calls for service.
If this is an officer-involved shooting situation, you obviously have to call in another agency to investigate that, correct?
We don't necessarily call them to investigate, but every officer-involved shooting since I've been employed by Topeka has the oversight, at least, of another agency. And sometimes what that can mean is the agency investigates it fully, or it can also mean they send their team of investigators down to kind of be silent observers of what we do, so that there's an objective person who can say, yeah, they did all the steps we would have done.
But you're not considering this an officer-involved shooting at this time?
I honestly don't know, Sean. Like I said, what I know is what was handed out
Sometimes
on the
you know, but
radio,
you can't tell, right?
And
Is that
I
sometimes?
flew here as fast as I could, so I could give you an instinctive thought, but that's not going to do us any good.
Mike, did they find any people they could take out for to be interviewed?
There are some witnesses who have gone down, who came forward, who wanted to go down and be interviewed as well, yes.
Do you know if the victim had a gun on?
I'm sorry?
Do you know if the victim had a weapon on?
I don't know that answer. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Thank you
All
for your
right,
time.
you bet, guys. All right, so everything else will go through Amy McCarter and Lieutenant Stewart at the police station.
Are they doing a briefing at the LAC and Sheriff?
I will get one set up for us. Yeah, if we don't already. I don't even know what time it is, guys. I jumped out of my office chair, threw my chair behind me, jumped in a car, and ran here as fast as I could. So.
Take a sheriff.
Yeah, sure. It's Mike, M-I-K-E, Cross, C-R-O-S-S, and my rank is captain with the Topeka Police Department.
Thank you, sir.
You
Thanks,
bet, guys.
Mike. Appreciate it.
Sure. The briefest.
So we are back here now live on Facebook. You just heard from Captain Mike Cross, Topeka Police
What
here. He's
happened after they arrived? The best
giving
way to
briefings here to different media as they've arrived on the scene.
shots fired once all three
And apparently, again,
the other outlets.
an officer-involved shooting. We're not able to determine at this point precisely if the officer fired the shots or was involved in the shooting somehow. That information will be forthcoming. But again, there was a lot of people here who have gathered. Now I see some gathering back again in an area to the south here that were here earlier. And again, we're going to keep it here live again for the foreseeable few minutes just to give you an idea what's going on here. But the person was apparently shot and wounded right here in this area here.
From an officer?
I can't because
And we're at Southeast 3rd and Lawrence. The incident, we're told, started over here in the Ripley Park, behind us over here to the east. And apparently the individual was wounded right there in that intersection there, T-intersection of 3rd and Lawrence, where all the items are still scattered. Now, Captain Cross did say that
I myself didn't actually do the radio call. I had the dispatch supervisor.
some of the officers involved immediately began performing CPR, and it got a little bloody in the process. They were sent on their way as a result. Police almost immediately put up crime scene tape. Doesn't happen often to see that. That's a bit unusual. Typically they kind of sit back and evaluate the situation before they will immediately jump into that, but occasionally they do put crime scene tape up. Again, it's a matter of a case-by-case situation where the evaluation in this case dictated that this crime scene tape was put up. And that could have been simply because a large crowd of people, some of whom were agitated, had gathered over here to the north, right where I'm looking here. Again, they were here when I got here and had been left the area.
We'll get a good briefing later. Sure, Mike Cross, and I'm a captain with the Topeka. You bet, guys. Yeah. Thank you for listening.
All right, folks, we're here at 3rd.
Just to give you again an idea of what we're seeing here, again, lots of police presence, Kansas Highway Patrol, Shawnee County Sheriff, Topeka Police, all here. And again, people were here, they've left. Now I see I believe the Shawnee County Sheriff's deputies are running a dog trail over in the park here. We see that going on. The dog showed up here with the officers about the same time of one of our briefings here moments ago. You might be able to hear the dog barking in a bit of an excited fashion. Several police cars, we have 2 police cars actually parked in the park. So again, we'll keep it here live. We'll kind of walk around a little bit and see if there's any one who can give us some assistance. Again, I would estimate between 30 and 45 officers were here at one time.
And the boy that got killed over there on Pinecrest, they running my nephew laying down in the ground. Y'all don't know, they didn't know who killed that boy. They did not get able to question my nephew or nothing else. You see what I'm saying? And they don't know who killed that boy. They just found the father. You see what I'm saying? No, you gotta ask them. They said that the boy didn't have no gun.
Again, we have some people here who are in the area and they're expressing themselves. We have a lot of police folks here. We have some officers from Topeka Police, Shawnee County Sheriff, Kansas Highway Patrol. Again, we're live here on Facebook, cjonline.com, and we'll see if we can get some people to speak with us.
I can tell y'all don't let the officer leave after they kill that man.
Hello, this is Sean. How can I help you?
Yes, ma'am. I'm 1023 Topeka DOC. Any mileage is 96506, 96506.
Put me on camera. Y'all ain't gonna like what I got to say. That don't make no sense, man. It don't make no sense the way that they do shit. You know, the officer that killed the man, they let him leave. Why would you let him leave? Yeah, the officer that killed the boy, they said you learned.
What's that called when Cookie weren't dead and they say something about him walking murder?
Again, if you're just joining us, there has been a shooting here in East Topeka, Southeast 3rd and Lawrence. We're standing in the parking lot here at the Timberley Apartments. This incident occurred around 9:37 a.m. and police here gave us a briefing that this incident began over at Ripley Park, here just to the east of where we're standing. Spilled over here onto the street where, right there in the intersection there of Southeast 3rd and Lawrence, the shooting had occurred.
What they put out about my nephew. What's that stuff called?
The person who was shot was reported in critical condition, code blue at one point, which means he was not breathing. A large crowd had gathered. Multiple agencies were called to respond to this scene to control the crowd. Again, you see the large crime scene that has been set up ostensibly here. This is a crime scene that is being investigated as we speak, but also it helps to keep people back from this investigation. So you can't cross over that yellow tape or under the yellow tape. We don't know the details yet. We're told there was an officer-involved shooting. Now, whether the officer fired the shot, we don't know. It hasn't been revealed exactly. We have been told that that was likely the case by an officer, but we're waiting to hear it from a police department official. Again, this incident involving the Topeka Police Department. You have agencies here from Shawnee County Sheriff's Office and the Kansas Highway Patrol also on the scene. A longer media briefing will be taking place at the Law Enforcement Center at some point in the near future. Hopefully, maybe yet this morning, early afternoon at the latest. We're hoping to get some official details as to what was going on out here and what happened exactly. But again, at this point, we know that one person was shot, wounded critically, taken to the hospital. We don't know the individual's condition or much else about the case at this point, other than putting together some of the information that we have from officials. A little reluctant to take information from eyewitnesses, as that can sometimes be accurate unless we can get several who see the same thing and report it the same way. We want to make sure we get the information correctly, so we're going to be a little bit careful as how we get the information out. So we are going to stay live again for a couple more minutes, and we're going to cut it. We will encourage you to check cjonline.com for more information as it becomes available. Again, this all occurring around 9:37 this morning here in East Topeka. Gunshots fired. We believe an officer-involved shooting at this point from the officials that we talked to, but we're waiting to hear it now from the Topeka Police Department as to exactly what did transpire. And you might be able to see the dog back in the park checking out. The canine unit is here as well. One person told me that he was walking on nearby 5th Street, about 2 blocks to the south here, when he heard 6 gunshots ring out, and that individual had come by also to see what was happening. Again, the large crowd that had been here has largely been dispersed now, and again, we're waiting to see what exactly happened. Did you see anything? Some of the people we visited with here, some say they hadn't seen anything in terms of what happened. Others who said they had some information, did not want to go on camera, so we're respecting that and trying not to put them on camera at this time. And again, we're hoping to put the information together as quickly as possible to give you some definite details as to what happened. So we're being a little bit cautious here this morning as to not saying things that we've heard but we can't confirm. We're not going to tell you anything we haven't confirmed. And the only thing we have confirmed from officials here was that a Topeka police officer was involved in the shooting. Whether that officer fired the shots, we are still awaiting the word on that. No police officers, however, were injured in this incident, which again apparently started over there in Ripley Park, just to the east here of where I'm standing in the Timberley Apartments parking lot here. We're at Southeast 3rd and Lawrence in East Topeka. Should we need to come back live, we will if there's additional information that we can get. Otherwise, we will sign off for now and provide you additional information on cjonline.com. And again, Facebook Live, should that information be warranted. Should we need to come back live, we certainly will. Reporting from East Topeka on Thursday morning, this is Phil Anderson for cjonline.com.